Welcome to what we believe to be episode 51 of the Black Delegates podcast. I am your host, the Black Ryan, with my co-host, Paul, Box Wine Poppy.
Yo,
what's up?
What's up? I'm here.
And the ghetto phenom, Ishmael. What's good, man?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
All right. First of all, we would like to apologize to our loyal listeners. I know y'all didn't know what to do without us coming out with a new podcast, for this week. But unfortunately, the virus ravaged Paul and his household.
Hold on.
So
No. You got to clarify. What? The virus.
The virus, man. It was virus.
This ain't magic and cookie now. This is.
Well, I mean,
infected.
Yeah, well, you got infected with a virus and you came down with a sickness. So the scientific word for it is correct. But glad to see y'all are doing better. Everybody's okay. Paul said he was invincible and then immediately got sick right after that.
Right.
Which was pretty funny.
We'll talk about it, but yeah, no, I didn't get that. I didn't get quite that sick, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yep. And let's see.
There's only one other dude.
Let's
it ain't
get
hard
into
to call.
Well, I already shot y'all out, so we good on that little part. We just got to get into it this week in blackness. Unless y'all want to apologize more to the listeners, I apologized. It is what it is, right?
Yep. We appreciate y'all for coming back and rocking with us. Definitely. Y'all had some illnesses. Ryan had some illnesses going on his way too. I was the only healthy one among us, but we back this week and we appreciate all your support, all the thoughts and prayers. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it, man.
Yep.
Paul, you mentioned that you were going to talk about it, so
sure.
Why don't you go ahead and get into it?
My week was it was trash. This was the trashiest week of the year for sure. Kids, man, you know how it is, Ryan. You know how it is, man. You got kids, daycare. So it's been bad weather everywhere, but here it's just been raining and cold all last week. So, we kept hearing reports about kids at school. There are a bunch of kids in this class had the flu like 2 weeks ago, and we were dodging a bullet with him. And so we were like, oh man, the flu shot, because we got him the flu shot this year. We're like, oh man, it's working. Then fast forward to another week, and Thursday, last Thursday, the week before Thursday, went to bed and he just started feeling warm to me. Woke him up in the morning. I was like, man, we can't send him to school. He feels too warm. So he just kind of hung out that day. Gave him some medicine. He was okay, but you could tell he was going down. And then Saturday he woke up and he was in rare form. That man threw my kid threw his iPad off the second story onto to the first floor. So he threw that mug and it still survived. But I was like, wow. I was hot. I was heated, man. But I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, oh man, I popped him. And then I found out okay. But then my wife later on, she was like, I think something's really wrong. We need to take him to the emergency room, whatever, to the urgent care. And I just thought they were gonna give him say he had a real bad cold or something like that. I didn't think it was the flu, because he wasn't shivering and all that stuff like that. But anyway, they said flu. So once they gave him flu, they gave him a bunch of medicine. And then a couple days later, the wife started feeling sick, and then we had to go back to convenient care again. She got checked out. They said flu for her. I'm like, man, okay, so I got two of these folks in here with the flu. 3-4 days later, I start feeling bad because I'm just taking care of them. But I go up there and look, man, I didn't get the flu. The doctor just said, nah, you just got like a little sinus infection or something like that. So he just gave me a little medicine. That was it. But yeah, man, I went to convenient care 3-4 times last week, 4 times last week, man. It was so man. It was like $120 in copays just for that.
Shout out to deductibles,
right?
Because you about to pay a ton.
Yo, man. But look, every time I went up there, man, it was packed. There was folks the whole waiting room was packed every single time. They got a call ahead joint that we go to all the time. So you just put your little name in the queue, and then you show up 10 minutes early or whatever. So that's great, but man, people were that whole thing was packed, and I heard one lady talking when I was paying my copay. Lady said she was real. I could tell she had a cold or flu or something like that because she just sounded terrible. But I guess she didn't have no insurance. That lady said it was $180 to go there. I was like, man, look, if it was $180 just to go up there to the convenient care, I'd have to be damn near dead. I'd have to be damn near dead before I walk up in there.
Right.
But that's how it is, man. So anyway, that was my week, man. Just sick, man. Take care of your kids and wash your hands, man. That's all I can tell you. Wash your hands.
Now, how much bread did you make slanging lean on the side? That's what the people really want to know.
Yeah, you did tell on yourself that you got prescribed a nice bottle of lean.
So I mostly got prescribed Tamiflu, but my wife went up there, and so she does have a good call. She had a good call. Actually, she's still taking it. But yeah, they did prescribe her lean, man. Look, this is the crazy part about the lean. So like all the prescriptions, like Tamiflu, like with insurance is $10. It's $10 for a Tamiflu, like 5-day supply. Man, guess how much that lean costs with insurance? Just take a quick gander. Come on, Ryan or Ish. Come on.
$75.
Take a guess, Ish.
I have no idea. $20.
$2. $2 for like a pint of lean. $2.21. It's specific exactly for a pint of lean. So like, man, that explains why these people, you know, wherever they get it from, it must be super, super, super duper cheap to make. So it must be like nothing. So that's when you hear about these rappers and people getting on this stuff. That's got to be why. It's just it must cost nothing to make at all. But my wife took she got a prescription for it, and so I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is lean. So I didn't even tell her, like, she don't even know what that is really, but I'm looking at it, and I'm telling Ryan and Ish, you know, on the group chat, like, oh, she got lean. I'm gonna get loaded on this. Wife
hopped in the candy coated whip, rolled down the street.
But my wife took it the first day, and she said, "Oh man, yeah." She said as soon as she took it, she was nodding. She went upstairs and she tried to watch a little TV. Just let her chill out. I said, "I'll watch the kid." And she said she was up there just nodding. So, but she said it tastes terrible. She said it tastes like pure alcohol. I was like, yeah, that's probably what it is, pure alcohol. So.
Right.
Anyway, man, yeah, I got a little lean in the house. I'm gonna try to sneak a couple sips of it here this week when my wife is finally done with it.
little pre-podcast, little pre-game for the pod.
I would take it, man, but I'm scared. It would put me right to bed, man. You know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, man, this is it, man. Just a little funny, little, you know. I never thought I'd ever have lean in the house, but I haven't partaken yet, but I will. I'll report back and let you know, fellas.
Don't do drugs, children.
Do drugs, kids. It makes you feel great. Do all the drugs you want, kids.
Do not do lean.
Don't do it all the time, but do it once or twice. It's fine.
Oh my God! Stop.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and jump in here next, man. So, my week in blackness actually done had a couple weeks go by. So I told y'all a couple weeks ago I was gonna try the vegetarian thing, do it for like 21 days. So I started that actually a week ago today. Went ahead and started that, and so far it's actually been pretty easy breezy. I had my first challenge this past weekend though. So on Saturday, my aunt, shout out to her, she had a birthday party. Her birthday actually was Sunday, but she had a party on Saturday, and so I knew going in I was a little worried because normally it's just, you know, either me at work or at home or me and my wife, and so it's not difficult to pass up on things. I don't have a whole lot of delicious looking food up in my face all the time. And so I knew going to this party, I said, okay, I think the vegetarian options are going to be few and far between. And I know that they're going to have some bomb food there, which they did. They had some chicken wings. They had shrimp, which I love shrimp. Had a big old platter of shrimp. And the vegetarian choices or the non-meat choices they had up in there, they had some green beans and they had some salad. And the green beans had like hella salt. They were hella salty and peppery. So it was like I just had a salad, a roll, and these super spicy beans. And I'm looking at everybody tear up this
real
shrimp.
green beans taste like crap.
Nah, I like green beans.
Tastes like dirt.
But
the
those
real ones?
mugs were extra spiced up.
Okay.
So that was my hardest time, but otherwise it's been interesting, you know, eating a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. Done tried a couple, you know, fake meat as I call it, little
tofurkey,
wannabe hamburgers, and it hasn't been bad. So I think it's going good. Second thing to talk about, I'm telling you about my hoop ambitions, my hoop tales, and I decided I was actually looking one day for a league. I was like, you know, I might do a league in the spring or the summer. looking around pricing them. All of a sudden, one of my coworkers comes up to me, just out the blue, and she's like, don't you play basketball? She's like, my son, he's in this league, and he said they need some more players. So, I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not really in league basketball shape. Like, even though I play every Saturday, we playing like to 7 1s and 2s, like 8 minutes, or to 7, whichever comes first. So I'm not getting up and down the court like that. But long story short, joined this dude's team, so I done got 2 games in on that, starting to get back into form. So
a 7-point game is some old man stuff. I'm just saying that's some old man stuff. I ain't never played the 7 ever in my life.
I'm so confused. Cause didn't Ish say like 20 episodes ago that he was announcing his retirement? It's like, is this the Michael Jordan
no,
this
is
to
his
baseball?
last.
But what did I say?
This
the
is
end
last
of
go
2019.
Round. Yeah, this is last go round.
The end of 2019. So I'm trying to get it in now, before that day comes.
You're just trying to collect souls now while you can. That's what you're trying to do. Just dunk on everybody you can. Little kids, it don't matter.
Catch a couple bodies.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and the team I'm on, it's not all that great. We done lost both the games I played. They actually had played 2 games before I joined. And actually, it was different people almost both games. So, we're going to have to get it together. I didn't want to go in. Ryan knows I'm a gunner by nature, but I didn't want to go in on somebody else's team just gunning. But we done lost 2 games.
Now, hold on. Now, you said it was like your coworker's son's league. Right. So, like, now, are you much older than everybody else? Or are they calling you old man? Are they calling you Uncle Drew out there?
Are they calling you OG? Are they calling you OG?
Triple OG?
Because when you start getting called OG, you like, man.
No, well, I think I am a lot older than most of the people. And actually, the guy who actually runs the team for real, he's come to our basketball thing before, Guy Fanball. So I met him before. I don't know him well, but I have played with him back in the past. But they probably late 20s, early 30s. Most of them, late 20s, early 30s. But, black don't crack. I don't think I look 40, so I don't think they realize I'm as old as I am. But I'm definitely older than everybody.
But man, you're doing it wrong. You sort of play the old up, so they go soft on you. Like, people be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna D him. I'm gonna take him. We'll put the weak dude on him, and all of a sudden you're just supposed to, show out.
Yeah, well, I told him, from the jump, I'm out of shape. That first game, dude asked me, he's like, man, what's up? Are you a hooper? You know what? I said, man, I can hoop. I said, but I'm out of shape. So last week, this past Sunday, I felt a lot more in shape. The first day I was kind of gassed, and there was only 6 of us, so you got to play a whole lot. So last week I felt a lot better stamina-wise. So I think this week will be good. Like I said, I'm kind of going in like, hey, we done lost 2, wasn't close. So now all bets off.
Where the games at? Y'all on a legit court, like a big court, or is just like a normal?
It's at a YMCA. Yeah, it's at a YMCA. Okay. It's a normal court.
How many games do you have to lose in a row before you finally go get you a fish fillet sandwich and end this nonsense diet that you're on?
It's not gonna happen, man. I'm gonna do my 21 days. I am getting a little bored with it already. I guess it's only so many ways you can cook vegetables and just keep eating vegetables. But I actually feel pretty good. I've been trying to work out too, so I'm gonna do.
Gotta make some of that fake chicken cauliflower.
Yeah, I do need to get some of them buffalo cauliflower wings or something like that.
Those actually are pretty good. They actually got them at where they had them at the Hard Rock Cafe. They're actually pretty decent. The way they made them there, cauliflower bites. Still trash though.
I saw somebody on Twitter, because a lot of people call them cauliflower wings.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Twitter was like, "Yo, if I bite into a piece of
a
chicken wing and taste cauliflower, I'm airing the whole place out." So.
Everybody getting it.
Right.
Everybody said it was good, man. I've heard a lot of black people say that it tastes like chicken, so maybe it's legit.
Yeah, I mean, you got the sauce and stuff. I've had something similar. I don't think it was a buffalo, but I had something like that before. And yeah, it's not bad, man. Once you get all that sauce on there, it don't taste like chicken, but you get all the rest of the taste, so it's not bad. So I need to do that.
I've been making pizza without bread like here lately. Like I do that like once a week, and it's actually pretty good. It doesn't taste.
First of all, I'm gonna say right now, it ain't pizza if you ain't got no bread.
Right, but
it ain't pizza. It's just cheese and meat.
It's a lot of eggs. A lot of eggs. That's all I can tell you. A lot of eggs.
Eggs.
Yeah, you make the
eggs is like the dough.
Yeah, it's almost like a quiche, kind of like you just eggs and cheese, and you mix that up and then and you heat that up. And then you go back and put the sauce and stuff like that. It's not bad though.
I'm gonna have to ask you to lead a podcast, man.
What, man?
I'm coming in here with some egg crust pizza.
I'm trying to
act like it's good, man. That's trash.
Hey, it's all meat. I'm getting meat. I'm not like Ish over here with try to go like a little girl. I want meat. I just no carbs, man. Let me be lean, man. Can I do that? Can I live?
Hey, probably the most fire thing I done had on this little endeavor was a pizza. Actually, me and my wife made it. She made her half with the pepperoni. I made my half. I just put some spinach and some tomatoes.
Oh, hold on.
Just some chopped tomatoes.
I'm calling shenanigans. You know good and well the pepperoni grease came on your side. Come on.
You say what?
The pepperoni grease probably slid on your side.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, grease ain't the same.
Shenanigans.
It's not like I'm an anti-meat eater, so if I got a little pepperoni grease, who cares?
Nope, you gotta do it. You gotta do it for real.
I did do it for real.
Your stuff can't even touch hers. It can't even touch it.
Man, you seen my plates, partner. I don't care about food.
Hey, hold on. Let me just get this right. The wife ain't doing none of this. She's just on.
Oh, absolutely not. She's eating some. Today she made some spaghetti, with no meat sauce, so I ate that and some vegetables, some broccoli and stuff. But she made herself some grilled chicken on the side, so she's eating that. And of course, at the party, my aunt's party, she's sitting beside me, tearing up the wings and tearing up the shrimp, and I'm just looking with my little salad and my little bread roll. And just looking.
All I know is you ain't gotta send no picture in the group chat of that struggle plate right there. Just keep
right.
that one to yourself.
That's what I ain't been doing. Right. Gotta send y'all my plates. Thanks for the reminder.
So, do you feel like you've lost any kind of energy or power or anything switching over? Because how many days has it been?
This is the 8th day now. So
okay.
It was only one day where I felt just drained, and I don't know. I don't think I slept all that great the night before, so I don't know if that was just not sleeping well or whether that was, just not getting enough protein or whatever. So it was one day, like midday, where I was at work and I just felt like I just really want to lay down and take a nap. But that's really been it. Otherwise, I try to make sure I'm getting enough protein. I started back taking a little multivitamin, so otherwise, I've been good.
Okay, and then the last final serious question. Is it weird never taking a dump? Because good and well, there's nothing to come out. Nothing's going in.
Not true.
So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do with your time?
This is not fair.
I'm just drinking smoothies up in this mug, so.
Okay, it's just gas. It's nothing but air.
So what about you, Ryan?
All right, my week, similar to Paul's, spent some time in the emergency room.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell that even though that was a couple weeks ago. Got a call from my wife who had a normal doctor's appointment, and she's like, "Hey, the doctor's sending me to the ER," and I'm like, "What's the problem?" And she's like, "My blood pressure's high," and I'm like, "Well, how high is it?" She gave me the numbers, and I'm like, that's like white people high." That's white people high. But I was just like, okay. So she went over there, and I met her over at the hospital, check her out. But she was having symptoms, so that's more so the issue with it. Most people that have high blood pressure, when it pops up or whenever it starts, like you don't have any kind of symptoms. I guess because it goes up so slowly, your body kind of regulates. I know I have high blood pressure, so when it happened, like I feel fine, and it could be like super high, and everybody's panicking and running around. Like, nah, I feel fine. Like this is normal. But yeah, so she was having like some lightheadedness and dizzy, and she said her like vision was getting blurred. So I'm like, yeah, you do need to go to the hospital. So she went there, checked her out for a little while. Quickest ER visit ever.
Word, how long?
I will say,
I was gonna ask that. How long?
Shout out to Mercy Hospital. For whatever reason, we was there maybe 3 hours.
I thought you were going to say like 30 minutes, man.
3
hours.
No, man, come on. It's still the emergency room, bro. Come on. If I'm not there overnight, I feel like it's a success. Man, have you been to the hospital in St. Louis? Like, no matter which one it is, like, you're going to be there a while. Remember we went with my daughter?
Yeah, I remember
when she broke her clavicle? We was there all night, and this is a little kid.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Give me urgent care any day,
the emergency room was packed.
Give me urgent care any day.
Yeah. I mean, emergency room was packed. There was a lot of people coughing up in that mug. There was a lot of people with masks on. So immediately when I went in, I just went into germaphobe mode. I was like, I'm gonna get sick like up in here. And then, close the doors behind you, nurses, when y'all come in and leave, because it was just all people coughing in the hallway. Mm-hmm. But she's good. She got a little high blood pressure pill or whatever. So she'll follow up tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully she'll be all right. But move on to the better news. So this past weekend, of course, I had a full Saturday because Trenton is moving into the stage of being a little kid where he got a bunch of stuff to do. So we had basketball practice on Saturday morning, if you can call it that. Coach Chad was out there with the normal enthusiasm that he comes with. He just like, is everybody having fun? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, all right, everybody, line up on the line. Like he's so hyped, man. But they need that as little kids, man. I mean, it's corny to us, but at the same time, they like it. And shout out to Coach Chad. Because I couldn't do it.
Don't worry. Ryan going to demand Coach Chad be fired in 2 weeks. Don't worry, fellas.
I don't care. Coach Chad can have it. They're not really practicing. There's no games. They just kind of getting in, doing shooting drills and doing dribbling drills. That's it. So he having fun. He doing something. I just got to waste my time for an hour. I might bring my real headphones so I can listen to a podcast, but it's too loud with all the balls dribbling. So I need to bring some real headphones. Mm. But other than that, so it was also my daughter's birthday. She turned 4. Oh. So shout out to Avery. Turning 4.
Birthday.
And Trenton also got an invitation to another birthday party. Same day. And I'm like, oh, Trenton. Like, yeah, man. I was like, oh, that's messed up. This is on the same day as Avery's. So I was like, you won't be able to go. And he was just like, why not? I was like, it's your sister's birthday. I was like, are you just gonna dump your sister to go to Levin's birthday party? Yep. Dude's name is Levin. Shout out to Levin, Levin. And yeah, she was just like, yes. He's like, well, it looks like mommy and Kayla and Avery are gonna have their own birthday, and then you could take me to the party. I was like, dang, straight up. I was like, so you just gonna throw your sister to the side like it don't matter? And he's like, yes. He's like, Levin is my best friend.
Plus he knows. Right, plus he knows that Ryan ain't spending the money for the good cake. You know
right,
that cake.
Right, that's the real reason.
Levin
gonna
parents
get that
buttercream
cream frosting or icing over there.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a fact, bro. We don't do the whipped cream icing. Whipped cream icing is trash. but yeah. But we definitely wasn't gonna get anything from Clary's Cakes, although they're good. Didn't want to spend the money on the little one's birthday like that. So keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, but went over to young Levin's party, so that was cool. He literally lives around the corner, and we could have walked over there, but we got there, and I was worried because I'm like, I don't know nobody here. This could turn out to be the single moms club, and that'd be kind of awkward.
Oh,
just a tiny bit.
That's the fun part right there.
But you would. Not really.
So you really did ditch your daughter's birthday party. That's a shame.
She didn't have a party. We didn't have nothing planned. They was just going I know Avery said she wanted to go to the movies, but ended up not doing that because my wife was sick. So couldn't do that. But we just hung out at the house. We watched the movies. But yeah, so shout out to the Brown delegation. Levin is Brown delegation. So it was also fun. Had some little Spanish flair going on.
Oh yeah,
with the music.
What'd you see?
Yeah,
what'd you run into? We had a pinata out there.
We know where Paul was taking.
No, they didn't have a pinata. I was actually, as racist as it is, I was disappointed there was no pinata. I was like, I finally get to experience the pinata.
You can buy one yourself, right, at Party City for like $5.
I know, but I want to experience a legit Brown delegation pinata at a party.
Yo, man. Pinatas
Because
are great.
when other people do it, it's a joke. You know, they're not really doing it.
Yo, man, for my nieces and nephews, we used to get the pinata when they were little, man. And I used to have so much fun out there with all them little kids, man. I get that pinata, hang the thing up, put all that candy in there, and put that blindfold, man. I spin the hell out of those kids and have them swinging it straight up air, man. And they'd fall over. I didn't care, man. We have a good time with those things, man. Get a pinata. Pinata's worth it, man. Little kids go sick on that.
It was cool. It was cool, man. Had some, some good cake. They had a good cake. They did do a pin to tail on a donkey. Ain't seen that one in a long time.
That's racist.
Guess what? Guess what song played? Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah.
The DJ who played Baby Shark. And I was like, wow, this party is so little kid. You know, but they're 5. He was turning 6. So, you know, I get it. Just strange to be at a little kid party. Because it was just like, oh, do you want a juice box? I was like, oh, I haven't had a juice box since I was 8. But sure. I felt like I should have just put on a party hat.
But when to 5-year-olds,
it's just done the whole thing.
When that Baby Shark beat drops off, it's just like adults when they hear the first like couple of little violin part from back the thing up. When that first that doom 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 when that comes on, that's the Baby Shark for little kids, man. They just all run to the dance floor like, oh man, it's about to go down right here.
Hey, everybody! I have to admit, it was a couple times they was listening to little kids songs that I noticed my head was bobbing. And I was like, dang! I'm like, glad ain't nobody here.
Now, how many times how many kids did you see doing the floss?
Nobody did it.
Nobody.
I'm surprised Trenton ain't do it because he does it all the time around the house. I'm sick of that dance, man. They need to retire that mug immediately.
See, I don't even know what this is. Y'all got
the backpack dance. The backpack dance.
Ah, okay. I got you. I know you.
Yeah. Yep. But other than that, man, fun weekend though. Got to kick it, of course, when we came back home. Kick it with the little daughter and play with her and her little dolls. So yeah, daddy doll parties. But that was my week.
All right.
That was the life, man. Let's get into these topics, man.
Up? Yeah, let's hop on in and.
How long have we been talking? Jeez.
For a minute.
I was not looking at the timer. I would have cut that short.
It's not me this time, fellas.
Can always.
Dang, I ain't even talk about chess. I taught Trent how to play chess. We'll talk about that another time. He did cry. No prisoners. All right. So Ishmael, this first story, man. Let's get into these topics.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first of all, before we go into the shoe store, I will just bring up the fact, and everybody has heard this by now, that Mr. Colin Kaepernick, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, the man who started the movement to take a knee, Kaepernick finally got that bag. And it's actually been, about 2 weeks now that Kaepernick announced, or his lawyers announced, that he reached a settlement agreement with the NFL. Now, of course, they signed that confidentiality clause, so they didn't release the actual numbers, but they talked to some team officials. And the NFL comes up with a settlement. All the owners, all the teams got to chip in to pay that off. And they talked with some people who work for the team, one of the teams, and they estimated that he got $60 to $80 million in that settlement. So shout out to
was that
Cap.
Just him? Was that just him, or
that's just
what's
Kaepernick.
The name too?
That's different from Eric Reed. Eric Reed got his own settlement.
Wow.
But we'll never really know truly what. They're never going to tell us exactly how much they got. So it could be 80 million. It could be 10 million. It could be. It could be 5. I hope it's more, but we'll see. We don't know.
I think it's really.
Trust the source, man.
Yeah, I think that source is legit. And the thing is that when it came to that type of lawsuit, what they were going to do is figure out the damages. Like if the NFL was guilty, which we know they were, and Cap had the receipts, then they were going to find out the damages, and whatever that number is would have automatically doubled. So Cap made like $20 million his last season in the NFL. Now he ended up opting out to try to get them to trade him, but he was making $20 million that last season. So if you look at it and say, okay, well, if he made $20 million for these next 3 seasons, that's $60 million. Is that reasonable? Maybe, maybe not. But he has the proof to show.
Damages on top of that.
Now you got to double that. So they looking at $100 million potentially that they're going to have to pay him, maybe more, $120 million. So they're going to settle, give him that money. Cap now got that bag, didn't have to take all those hits, didn't have to get beat over the head. So I think it's a win-win.
Is there income taxes in the settlement?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure the government taxes that, absolutely.
I mean, it's just flat income tax, or is it like a different tax bracket?
Well, man, at that when you're talking about tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, you're in the top tax bracket no matter what. It don't matter.
Unless you're Amazon and you pay zero taxes on.
Well, yeah, that's a business. Yeah,
$100 billion, right?
Too big to fail, man.
Yeah, but
got him by the balls.
Yeah, but what was interesting about this story, actually, while we're bringing it up, is the same week that Colin Kaepernick got that bag. And that kind of came out the blue. Nobody really expected that settlement to come up, so it really was breaking news when it happened.
Word.
But that same week, there was a store. Let's see, where was this store?
It's like Colorado.
In Colorado Springs, I believe. Yeah, Colorado Springs, or somewhere in Colorado. It was a guy who, when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, this guy had like a shoe store. It's like a Foot Locker type store, but his own little sporting goods, shoes, yada, yada. And he saw Kaepernick kneel, and he was so upset that he said, I'm no longer selling any Nike product. Because if Nike's
no more Nikes.
Right. If Nike's going to endorse this man, and he's going to do what? Disrespect the flag. Right. I'm not selling anything Nike. Now, what happened? What do you think would happen? Nike is like 98% of the shoe market, right? So what do you think happened to this fool? His store went out of business.
Exactly.
And there's a slap in the face, right? His store went out of business the same week that Colin Kaepernick got $60 to $80 million.
Yeah.
So what did y'all think about that story or that situation?
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, good to Cap. But I really want. That's just part one. I want to see him get back in the league. So I'm hoping he's. They've been talking about supposedly some teams interested. In fact, they named the Panthers and the Patriots as like two. I guess his lawyer said that's two teams he think would take a chance on him. I just want to see him. I just want to see him get all this stuff over with. Go ahead and get back in the league. But then that'll kick off some more things because. Will he take a knee again? Is that kind of over and done? Is that part of the bargain? Like if he got the deal, does he agree to stand for if he comes back? It's a bunch of other stuff that needs to be resolved. But he's a football player. Get him out there. Let's see what he can do. I'm sure he can help some team out there, if not as a starter, at least as a backup by now. So I'm hoping that's gonna work out. And then the dude in Colorado.
Would they?
What's up?
Wouldn't they kind of? Well, I guess. I mean, the lawsuit's over with. They've already paid. They can't really have a double jeopardy situation. I guess you could, but would they then be kind of obligated to make sure that he gets another job, or can they just say, "Well, we already paid you restitution. We're done."
I mean,
I'm sure.
Part ways.
I mean,
they probably had a clause in there that he can't play no more. That could have been a possibility too.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible. I mean, the problem is with this agreement, neither side is going to tell what happened. So unless somebody breaks the confidential agreement, which nobody really wants to. I mean, Cap doesn't want to because he wants to keep the money. The owners probably definitely going to do it either. So I think you're never really find out what
eventually. Happens. That type of stuff always comes out eventually, but. We don't need to know. Yeah, the big question is, will he play again? I think it's a long shot, but it is possible. And I will say this, like you said, the Panthers and the Patriots were kind of two of the teams that were rumored. As a native St. Louisan, I've hated the Patriots ever since they cheated the Rams out of Super Bowl back in the day. But if Colin Kaepernick was a Patriot, have to become a Patriot.
Don't do it.
I got to do it.
Come on, man. Come on. Don't fall for your boy.
I'm riding with the Pats.
Don't fall for the okie doke.
Y'all signed Colin Kaepernick.
This ain't got nothing to do with the owner going to get the HJ for $80 in the Bentley. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's just be real.
I don't care how much money you got. It ain't worth $80.
Hey, my man.
Keep that.
My man went over there at like 6 o'clock at night on like a Saturday, came right back the next morning, like at 9 o'clock the morning the next day in the Bentley, got done, tipped the chick, and went straight to the private jet. Like, hurry up. I gotta
It's gotta be more than that, man. Yeah, it's gotta be more than that.
For the listeners who are not savvy on the story, the Patriots owner, Robert Kraft, got arrested. He was going to a quote-unquote Asian massage parlor. This is like one at a regular brothel. Strip mall. And he was getting some extra services and got caught up in the sting. So you worth $7 billion, I think 7.7 billion dollars, I think.
That the government knows about.
Billion. And he's going to these little strip mall massage places getting happy endings. Like, really?
Man,
maybe Corinne Steffens work up in there, man. You never know.
I'm not condoning it, but like the dude is just like he don't want the he don't want the baggage. Some chick up there, like take me shopping, do this, do that. He's just like, okay, I just want this transaction. I get where he's coming from, though it is illegal. So I don't know, man, but it's definitely funny to laugh at the dude and stuff like that. So. Yeah, but man, they got the man on tape. Not only on tape outside pulling up, they got the man on tape inside getting the man. How much money do you think he'll pay to keep that tape from coming out? Because I definitely don't want to see that tape. Do not.
Yeah, TMZ working on it overtime.
TMZ, hey,
they gonna get it.
TMZ, so please, the biggest, Harvey, we don't need it. We don't need it, man.
The biggest question is whether the NFL is gonna get it first or whether TMZ is gonna get it first.
This is gonna be like a Ray Rice situation.
Exactly.
Possibly.
But if the NFL gets it, they're gonna destroy it like they did with the Patriots evidence when they were cheating.
No, if Tom Brady gets it, he's gonna destroy it.
He's gonna deflate it.
That's right.
He'll destroy it in multiple ways. Yes. He's familiar with destroying the evidence.
Oh, man.
Yep. But maybe that's part of their outreach to Cap. They're going to offer him some extra incentives if he signs with the Patriots.
Some HJs? that's weird. Join the Patriots. Free HJs.
But it's interesting, Kraft.
Robert
Kraft, he's he's the Patriots owner and stuff. He's done, he's buddies with Trump. But it's interesting. He helped get Meek Mill out of jail. He pushed for the prison reform legislation that recently passed. He was active all that. So I don't know, man. This dude, like, I never really heard much about him other than being the Patriots owner until a couple of years ago. It just seems like he's been in a lot of stuff here the last couple of years. Right. It's just I don't really know what's going on with that dude.
Like, how you homies with Trump?
It's called voters remorse.
He's homies with
how you homies with Trump and the Meek Mill?
Homies, yeah, and Gucci Mane. It's like, what's going on here? Yeah, right. I just don't get it. But
his daughter supposedly likes Meek Mill, so that's where that came from.
Okay,
that not enough to sit there and get the man out of jail and have him do all this other stuff. I mean, that's
you never know what a rich white father will do for their daughter.
Okay, if you say so.
So Ryan, now that Cap is back, are you watching football or you still out?
He has to actually play on a team, but yeah, I'll start watching. But I'm kind of over football, to be honest. It just gave me time to realize how much time I don't have to spend watching football because I don't really care.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing for the NFL. Because for me, and I think we said it when we talked about it before, I was like, once Cap get his money, then I can stop boycotting. So for me, now that he got paid, like, I'm like, cool. I don't have to boycott, but at the same time, I didn't really miss the NFL when I wasn't watching it. So I don't think I'll ever go back to, I got to get home on Sunday and turn on the game. I don't think it'll be that way. But if they gave Cap $60 to $80 million, like, I'm good with it. Like, we good. Paul been watching that football all along.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We know you guys.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
So sold out since day one.
Oh, hey, but look, man, that last Super Bowl was so trash, man. That I might protest because of that. Super Bowl was garbage, man. Unwatchable. Anyway.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah, so related to this one, though, we'll move on to a different one, but this is a more recent story. So over the weekend, the Ole Miss basketball team, they decided to take a knee and kind of mimic, the protest that Cap started. So I guess that on the Ole Miss campus, which is in Oxford, Mississippi, there was like a small group of Confederate supporters that showed up. I guess maybe white power people had a bunch of Confederate gear on, but it wasn't many people. It was maybe like 30 or 40. But they filed, they filed all the paperwork and had some kind of rally on campus. Again, maybe 30, 40 people tops. But there was a bunch of protests going on the campus during that time, and so these 7 or 8 black players on the basketball team decided to take a knee. And I just thought that was an interesting story because, if it happened in San Francisco, that's one thing, but Ole Miss is a totally different place. And so these dudes all decided to take a knee there. And what I was actually impressed by was that, and maybe it all may be lip service, but the school, supported them in their decision. Like the AD, the coach, they said it was their right, and they didn't really give them too much grief about it. But I'm sure they're going to hear from their fans. But did y'all catch any of that story?
I did not. I didn't know anything about this story until you told me about it. I try to shield out all the news possible in my real life. It's sad enough in this world, the few things that get to my ears, so I don't go out looking for it too often. But yeah, man, it's it's strange that you thought it was weird that there would be Confederate and anti, well, I guess not anti, but white power type rallies in Mississippi of all places. Considering it's probably one of the most racist places on earth. Always has been, always will be. So I'm not surprised. But shout out to them brothers for having the cojones to get up there and do that, because you definitely behind enemy lines in Mississippi, even if you at Ole Miss. Because heck, y'all's mascot is racist. Your helmets is racist. Like everything about that school is racist. Word. I guarantee the statues on campus are racist. So yeah, man, y'all behind enemy lines. But shout out for y'all standing up or kneeling for something you believe in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I hadn't really seen it too much before you mentioned it either. But I'm gonna say this: you say you're surprised because Ole Miss kind of stood behind the team, but take all those brothers off Ole Miss and see what type of basketball team they had. They didn't have a choice in the matter. When you look at the NFL still had like a lot of the star quarterbacks are white players. In basketball, most of the players that are really doing stuff are people of color. So if you piss off all the black players on that team, or you come out too heavy-handed and the black people walk out instead of kneeling, they say, all right, we're not going to play, that team would be super duper trash. I don't even know if they could field a full team. So yeah, they're going to go ahead and support. Now the coach may end up taking the brunt of that. I know at Mizzou, which is where I went, there was a similar situation some years ago, and this actually was probably the best Mizzou football coaches on the football team, probably the best coach that they've had there, and they tried to kind of come together, and actually I think they threatened to sit out a game because of some racist stuff that happened on campus, and the coach stood behind them, and the coach ended up leaving after that. And word kind of in the rumor mill was that the big donors kind of forced him out. He said he had some health issues he had to deal with, but they said the big money donors were like, nah, you got to get out of here. So the coach may face some repercussions, but they need those black players, so they're not going nowhere.
It was actually interesting with the Ole Miss coach. Like, I guess when he came over, from what I guess he got asked previously about like this whole standing to the anthem, and basically when he came over there, this is a couple of years ago or over the off season, and they asked him that question. He was like, yeah, we support the flag here, and we're going to stand, stuff like that. That's what he was saying. Then, of course, to this weekend when this all went down, I guess what else could he say? He had to say he had to support his players, So it's interesting. It kind of puts people on the spot in these kind of situations and stuff like that. But honestly, this is the first time I can remember. I mean, NFL been kneeling, but I haven't. And maybe you've heard, you kind of hear a couple isolated instances of like. High school teams, certain high school players kneeling and stuff like that, but I can't remember a major Division I school football or basketball kneeling until this. That's the only one I can think of.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of high school, but yeah, you haven't really seen it in college like that.
So it's interesting that it happened to happen at Ole Miss, and they have such a checkered history on all this stuff like that, right? So it's just crazy. Just one little story, but to add to it.
Right. Shout out to Ole Miss.
Yep.
I don't know about. I'm not going to go that far.
Go ahead, Itch. Give us a great transition from that story into this next story.
Word.
Okay.
See what you got.
We're talking about college basketball, and we're not going to talk about Zion. Zion got hurt, but Zion, everybody's looking at his money, right? Some people saying he need to sit because he need to protect that bag. Well, what would it take for you if your parents were billionaires, like Bill and Melinda Gates? How much would you expect to get in that inheritance? Because you wouldn't have to be like these poor college kids who are breaking their backs and not getting any money. Your mom and dad are billionaires. The Gates are worth over $80 billion. I think it's closer to $100 billion, actually. I think it's like $97.7 billion is their net worth. But Bill and Melinda Gates have said that they're going to give each of their kids $10 million each. When they die, when they go on to glory, they're going to leave their kids $10 million each. So my question for you two is, if your mom and daddy were billionaires and they said, we're going to leave you $10 million, would you be mad? Paul, let's start with you.
You want to start with me? Well, first of all, no, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't care. Because that's plenty of money. Second of all, if y'all think for one damn second that that's all these kids getting, y'all are crazy. They might get $10 million cash, but they get assets.
They're getting all their property.
They getting mad assets.
Deeds to that mansions.
They've been gifted money. Because man, when you get to that much money and you talk about like the tax code and ways to exploit it or, do things that are tax efficient, give gifts up to a certain amount. Man, they doing all that stuff. So, man, they'll get $10 million in the will or whatever like that. And maybe that sounds low, but they're getting way more than that. Just if you look at the total value and the things they've been gifted before then. Like, so $10 million won't even bother me. But even if it was just $10 million, man, $10 million if you do that, and just invest it, and you make 5% each year. That's like $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year, man. You can live comfortably off that for the rest of your life, never have to work. So $10 million, I'd definitely take it. I wouldn't be tripping too much, although I know that's way, way low. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I think when you have the privilege of your parents being Bill and Melinda Gates, you've already made the connections that you need to make in order to stay rich. So yes, $10 million will go a lot farther than just Gucci Mane getting $10 million, or just some regular dude, because he just doesn't know those type of people. He'll have to take care of his family, et cetera, et cetera. But if all of y'all got $10 million and the upbringing that they would have given you and the connections, they'll be fine. I mean, they're going to school with like the Bezos kids and stuff like that. So they know everybody. So it's not a big deal. I wouldn't be too upset about it. It seems very cheap, but I also think they could do better with their money by paying off everybody's student loans. How about you do that? Well, why don't you pay off all our student loans, man? Help us out. Help out somebody.
Well, they're putting all their money to
leave a legacy.
No, they're leaving all their money to charity. That's the part we left out.
Yeah, what's charity mean? That just mean more rich white people. That's what charity means. The money never gets down. It's like a penny for every dollar that they put in actually goes to something.
I don't know. Bill Gates is like the most philanthropic person in the world. You know, like they're giving away like 99% of their wealth. So he doing like stuff like he ain't trying to help American people. He trying to help get rid of malaria in like Mozambique and have clean running water in Zimbabwe. That's the stuff he's trying. That's the stuff he's on. So like we may not, people like me and you and other poor folk people in America may not see the benefits of what he's doing, but globally is where his focus is at. I respect that.
Can we get a free laptop? Can I get free Xbox Live? Can I get free Xbox Live? How about free Xbox Live, Bill Gates?
All about himself. He forget them people in Mozambique. I need I need a laptop.
They knew it was dry when they got there. You knew it was dry when you got there. You knew it wasn't no water. You still ain't moved. That's on me.
So sad. So sad. Now, I'm a little
this
disappointed.
African on African crime, right here.
Right. I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Ryan, because I would have thought if anybody, you know, Paul is a financial wizard, so I knew where Paul stood, but I would have thought the Black Ryan would understand that if your parents are worth almost $100 billion, and look, I understand $10 million is a lot of money. I would love, if one of our listeners, if you want to send me $10 million, I will be grateful.
Right.
Eternally grateful.
Hey, you send me $10 million, I'll do the same thing Bob Kraft got. I'll take care of you, just like that.
$10 million HJs.
Ain't even gotta tip me. Ain't gotta tip me nothing.
But if Bill Gates is my pops, and he tells me all he's leaving me is $10 million, we're gonna have to fight. And you know why we're gonna have to fight? Because there are NBA teams out there that you can buy. Just give me one. Just give me the Pelicans, and you could trade Anthony Davis first. Give me the Pelicans, and give me that $10 million, and I'm good. But it's too many professional sports franchises out there that could be bought for a dent of that change. That's gonna feed our family for years. So I need an NBA franchise. I would buy the Knicks.
I would buy the Knicks and move them to St. Louis. That'd be gangster. Like, I'm gonna buy the Knicks for $5 billion and I'm gonna move them to St. Louis.
See, I'm not gonna be greedy. I know I can get the Pelicans for probably $750, $800 million. Shoot. Let me get them, move them. I don't need to be greedy, pops. But that's if you got $100 billion, at least peel off too. You don't have to give it to me directly. Just go ahead, buy the team, build a stadium, and we good.
I'm joking about moving the Knicks. I just hate New York.
Hey, I hate the Knicks too, man. Don't feel bad, man. But they getting more money than that, man. They getting way more than 10 million. They're gonna be named to all these boards. You know, these charities, the Bill and Melinda Gates
Foundation. They over all the charities. Yeah, that's where all that $100 million gonna be going in their pocket when they the CEO.
Yeah,
I'm the CEO, but I make $10 million a year. Oh, stop it.
Yeah, man.
I'm falling for it.
I mean, they should leave money to their kids. They shouldn't leave all. I think they're doing a good thing, but they're getting a lot more than $10 million. I don't believe that.
You know, Warren Buffett is doing that, I believe, with his kids.
Yeah,
his kids are 40.
Dirt. They old anyway.
I think they was gonna get like $40 million or something like that. And then he was gonna give the rest of it away. So I understand, man, because if you think about it, like, money really does, like, it destroys lives for real. Like, it is the root of all evil when you got too much of it, I think.
No, it's not.
I mean, when you don't have any, then yeah, it seems like it's everything. But if you got too much, it could also be a huge problem. I would never want my children to be rich off of me. I would want them to build their wealth. Then you can kind of respect it, because they don't respect the money that I make now. You know, I worked hard to get to where I'm at. You know, the little bit of money I do make, and they get way more stuff than I've ever gotten in my life, and they'll never understand it because they just think like, oh, this is how life is.
Right. Give me another doll, old man. Shut up.
And that's,
right.
And that's how your mama would say you were when you were a kid too.
Yeah.
Oh no, she would not. We didn't get toys unless it was Christmas.
So we got to kick this to our listeners too. So listeners, what do you think is a respectable amount? If your parents had $100 billion, how much do you need for you to be content? So let us know. Hit us up on the comments. Hit us up on social media. Or send us an email, theblackdelegatespod@gmail.com, and let us know what you think. So next topic.
Yeah, Ryan, you want to get into the crazy ladies, the crime section.
So you want to talk about this lady? All right, fine. I was going to skip this one. But, all right, we'll talk about it. So, another angry white woman. Okay. I'm pulling it up right now because I was going to skip it. I was just deleting it and moving it to next week. So, apparently, a couple, they were having a birthday party, or not a party, a photo shoot for their 1-year-old child. 1-year-old. They had set up a nice little, you know how people do. You're in the park or something, and you got a blanket out, and the baby's looking cute. You're making them smile, blah blah blah. But of course, they were in Texas, Not Florida, but Texas, which is probably number 2 for crazy. And this lady, I think it's funny that they call her a local socialite. Local socialite, which means rich white woman. Rich white woman. She says she identified herself as Francie Neely. She was upset that they had set up their props in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, if you all saw these pictures, you would see that this is a very big area. This is not like she couldn't get past her house or she couldn't get to her car. She could have simply walked in the grass. She would have been fine. It's not a big deal. But she went crazy on this particular family. I believe that it looked like the man was a white man and the woman was a black woman. And, of course, their child was beige. So what did y'all think about this here story and how this local socialite acted?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was clearly ridiculous. I mean, it's one of those white privilege moments. And, you know, one thing I think you failed to mention is she actually smacked like the mother who was videotaping the incident, or the father.
The father dude.
He was videotaping and, you know, asking her, you know, why is he messing with this 1-year-old, and, you know, just let us chill, had his photo shoot. She smacked his phone or smacked him in the phone 2 or 3 times. But just showing this privilege, like, you got a 1-year-old kid, they got balloons, they got that little pink cover or blanket laid down, little furry blanket, and she just goes off on them. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you could have easily walked around. You could have easily mind your own business. Who starts a fight with a 1-year-old?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
But Paul, she said that she's sorry. She was upset.
Man, right. Hey, look, man.
And this is the ex-wife of the Houston Astros owner. So that's how she got her bread.
Yeah, she's filthy rich, sits on a bunch of boards, I guess in Houston. It says she sits on the board of the Museum of Fine Arts, Grand Opera, bunch of other foundations, man. So yeah, she's definitely a socialite. You know, she's living the good life with Mio, man. She was out of pocket. Now she needs to lose some of these positions and some of this stuff, man. It's like, it's one thing to go up there and like harass these people. You know, hey, you don't need to be here. Why are you doing this? But it's another thing to like start taking the stuff, taking property that not yours and just moving it on your own accord because you don't like them being out there or something like that. Like, that's too much. And then on top of that, slapping the camera. I mean, I don't blame dude for having the camera out, man. This lady out here acting crazy, touching my stuff, you know, around my little kid, man. She's lucky she didn't get popped herself. If it had been, if that husband had laid one finger on her, believe me, they would have had 14 cop cars with full SWAT gear on, taking care of that right then.
Exactly. And I don't think she's been.
Nothing's happened.
Sent to jail, imprisoned, or anything.
No.
The story kind of went away. I think a lot of stuff happened. You know, your boy Jussie messed this one up.
Yeah, well, that's
we
what I was going to say.
We could have got her up out of here too.
I was going to have you play that conspiracy theory music. You know, we're not
really
talking about Jussie.
Hold on. You asked me to play a sound. You got to get to it. Where is it at?
That's why I was just.
Dang it! I'm not prepared.
Exactly.
Let's go. Dang.
Exactly. So my thing is, you got the whole Jussie Smollett situation. And it's going back and forth on whether he lied. Now he comes in.
Play it anyway.
Right. It's going back and forth whether he lied, whether he tell the truth. Yo, my theory is that this lady is the one who beat up Jussie.
Oh.
She flew into Chicago for the weekend, and she the one who beat him down. So, Jussie, we apologize for making fun of you. I need to know where, what's her name? Miss Neely. I need to know her whereabouts. Francie Neely on the day that Jussie Smollett got beat over the head.
Yo, this lady, Leo, that happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. This lady would been asleep. Been asleep watching Designing Women.
I think her alibi was that she was harassing a black family in a park at the time. So there's no way that she could have committed the crime. So, yeah. But she, afterwards, it says she grabbed the blanket and headed to her Jaguar convertible parked on the street. So she still had to walk through the grass. She wasn't even by these people. She went out of her way to be a jerk.
Right. And her apology was, "I'm very sorry that I got upset on late Saturday afternoon. It's hard to remain composed when confronted by shrouded threats of lawsuits and false inflammatory accusations." And that was because the people were saying, like, "We're going to call the police. We're going to sue you for beating up the husband."
She's threatened. Oh, no. I'm threatened and I got $30 million in the bank. Exactly. You might sue me.
Right. Yeah, lock her up.
People. I still want to know what her beef was. Like, did she not want them there? Were they? I don't.
She said that they were blocking the sidewalk. Period. Not the sidewalk she wanted to walk on, but just the sidewalk. Period.
It didn't even seem like there was nobody else out there but them. I didn't see.
There was nobody else out there. That's the crazy part. Yeah, man.
This is what happens when you don't have a job. When you don't have a job, you got too many things. Like this is what happens. You take it upon yourself to do too much crazy stuff. People with real work, they're like, man, whatever. Let them folks take their pictures and go about their day. We ain't got time to go over there and harass these folks.
Exactly.
Chicago PD been busy. Go pick her up. I know it happened in Houston, but just go pick her up.
Yo, at least we ain't gonna have nobody named Jesse no more. That's the one thing the good that's gonna come out of that story. There will never be another person named Jesse. It's gonna be like on the list with Adolf and like Mussolini. That like nobody's gonna name their kid Jesse, and that no one should ever again. Oh man, that dude's trash, man. Y'all gotta trade him, man. Who y'all want for him? We'll take him off y'all hands. Who you'll take for us? Anybody.
Right. Yeah, we don't even care. Future draft picks.
Okay.
Right.
And cash considerations.
Right. Let me get a couple coupons to Church's Chicken. All right. So
let's knock out these
next?
last two. Let's knock out these last little two stories. I thought these stories were funny. Just a teensy bit. So these were St. Louis news stories. Caught these on KMOV. I've been in this man's situation, so I totally understand where his thoughts were coming from. So this man, it says the suspect. Yeah. The suspect entered a Dollar General store. Y'all been to Dollar General before. Sometimes you go in Dollar General, it's really only like one or two cashiers, right? Or cash registers. And then there's usually one cashier up there. The other one is back somewhere, like just stacking boxes on the floor. They never actually put anything on the shelves. They just stack the boxes on the floor and leave them there. So of course, this happened on Martin Luther King Drive. Says around 4:45, they said the suspect became impatient while waiting in the line. We've all been there. You stand in the line. Why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? So this man, he decided to pull out a gun and rob the place. He's just like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You're taking way too long. Just empty the register and give it all to me, and I'm leaving. So I thought that was funny. I've been in the situation where you're like, why is this taking so long? I want to go. I thought he was just gonna check out. I would pull out a gun and say, hey, just check me out right now, and I'm leaving. I pay and then walk out.
Hey, that brother said time is money. Orion, you always say that. You're a big advocate of time is money. So he felt like, hey, y'all got me sitting here for 30 minutes. I might as well go ahead and make this $15 an hour. So he probably took, $30 out the register just to pay for his time waiting.
Right, I'm sure he got $38 in cash. Congratulations, brother. Nothing on that one, Paul. Nothing.
Man, hey,
Paul don't shop at Dollar General, man. Paul
he don't even know what Dollar General is.
I know what Dollar General. There's one.
Only shop at David Marcus.
Right, you got to take Bitcoin. If you don't take Bitcoin, Paul ain't messing with you.
Yo, I ain't been in Dollar General a long time. I've been there, but I ain't been there in a long time. It just, I don't know. I never, even when that's all I could afford. I never really just dug the merchandise they had in there, man. It's like I don't see the point. But
dug the merchandise, bro. They got bread, chips. What else would you need if you go? Deodorant. You've never just walked in a Dollar General to get something small.
When in college, there was one over there near the Kroger, so I'd go over there every now and then. But even when I was in there, I was just like, okay, I just nothing. It never just appealed to me. I was like, nah, I'm cool, man.
Your lady need a cheap box of perm.
Yo, man, you sick.
You ain't never went in there for the dark and lovely?
I've never gone in there for the dark and lovely. No, yo, man, Like there's there's certain things I believe in life like you should just pay more than $1 for. And I guess hair dye and bread are one of those things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. I don't really rock the Dollar General Family Dollar. Like, I might go there if there's a big party and I need a bunch of plates. Maybe I'll go there, but I'm not going in and out of there too much, man.
Yeah, I don't go either, but when you do, you in there for a long time.
I'm always kind of surprised. Like, I get it, like, in the rural areas, like you ain't got too many, like, other, like, you know, retail stores. So, like, I get the appeal of having a Dollar General. But, like, in a big city, like, you know, like where we live at, and actually I should be careful because where I live at is the headquarters of Dollar General, I believe. But like they're everywhere, and I'm like I don't see the need for them to be on every corner. You know, like what do they have that's better than others than, you know, a Walgreens or a Harris Teeter, or, you know, a Kroger?
They just got better prices. They got them things on the low. So
they got some better prices, but what can be that much cheaper than, you know, if it's selling for $1 in there? I mean,
some stuff for $1. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you can go there, you can get deodorant for $2, and it's probably a $3 or something at Walmart.
Yeah, but it's like,
I mean, because it's the expired ones that Walmart don't want no more.
Okay, yeah, but like, what like, am I really? I'm sitting there gonna save $1 on some expired deodorant? Like what? Like, okay, like what? Like where?
Bro,
like what am I?
It's 33% off.
This is my goal. But this is my goal. When I go shopping, my goal is get in, get out, and never have to go back. That's my goal. Like, save money, but get in, get out, and never have to go back. I don't want to go to 2 stores. Like, I want to go to 1 store and do all my shopping and never go back. I'm not going to Family Dollar and sit there like, oh, okay, I can get my deodorant here this week and this week and this, and I get the bread for like and save 13 cents on the bread. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm really saving. Now I'm going to drive, spend gas to get over to this other place, and now I'm going to buy the rest of the stuff. Like, man, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go to one place and find the cheap bread, the cheap whatever, and be done with it. I ain't doing all that mess, man. That's crazy.
Okay, all right. Then you'll like this next story. Speaking of one-stop shopping,
I also save money. I'm also a frugal here. I go get in, get out.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get in and get out in this next story. This one, I don't know where this is. It says Lancaster County.
You know exactly where it's at.
New Holland.
You know exactly.
New Holland borough. Is that here? Is that here-ish? I don't know. I don't know where that is. I have no idea where this is. But let me read this.
How do you not even know your own counties in your own state, man? Come on, man.
I don't think this is here. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where that is, so I don't think it's here.
No, it's
Police have charged a woman with prostitution and promoting prostitution after an investigation at the Angel Spa on West Main Street in New Holland. Now, I read this story and I was like, that's kind of funny. Let me check it out. You know, maybe it's interesting. And they said that the police found this lady, and they didn't know her name. She refused to give them her real name. Says the Jane Doe refused to give her real name to the investigators after being charged by an undercover cop. Right?
Okay, this is a Philadelphia area, FYI.
Philadelphia, okay. So they said police say they found her, who was the only occupant of the business at the time, offering to perform sexual acts on customers at the spa in exchange for money. Mm-hmm. So they have a criminal complaint. Undercover officer said he visited the spa, paid $40 to receive a massage from the Jane Doe. At the conclusion of the massage, the police said the woman made a gesture with her hands simulating masturbation and asked the officer, "You want?" You want? You got to do it with an Asian accent.
Don't ever do that voice.
Think about it in your head. Think about it in your head. But here we go. We're gonna get to the funny part. Hold on. The officer asked the woman, "How much?" The woman replied, $20. The woman then performed the sex act on the officer for several minutes. The undercover officer eventually notified the police about the proposed sexual act. Please explain to me why this undercover officer got a rub and tug. He had to actually complete the act before he could charge this lady with something. Did he tell his wife, like, "Hey, it was my job. I was just doing my job. I was undercover, babe. Don't worry."
First of all, you assuming this is a rub and tug. This may not be a rub and tug. This might be a little bit more than that.
That's what she said. She said that she specifically made her hand gesture like masturbation. But I thought it was funny that this brother went through with it. Yeah. And then said he had to arrest her.
But the funniest part of that whole story is when it says the undercover officer eventually notified police.
Right, that's what I'm saying. How long did you do this?
after completion.
Yeah. So hey, when when you're dedicated to your job, this is what you do. Like, hey, he was like, I was in too deep. I had to finish.
Man, like, I don't know, man. This goes back to the Bob Kraft thing. Like, just man, make this stuff legal, man. But yo, all I know is like, if you see an Oriental massage parlor like that, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume. I've always assumed that's what's going down in those places. Because look, and my wife and I, and my aunt were talking about this at dinner yesterday because we were talking about the Bob Kraft dude, and we like, okay, you got all these Asian massage parlors. I just assume they're synonymous. Like, you never hear about couples. Like, when you ever hear like a couple at work and they're like, oh yeah, for my birthday we had a couples massage. You never hear about that couples massage at the Asian massage parlor. It's always like it's always at Massage Envy or some like chain place. Right. It ain't never at the Asian massage parlor, and that's the reason why, because they don't want you up in there. You in there for one thing only in there.
Look, I know.
Ish, have you heard about the Massage Envy Mafia that we got going on here in St. Louis?
What?
Have you ever read about that?
I have not.
Yeah.
No,
we need to do that for a story one day. Okay. Apparently, like these guys that own Massage Envy, like they had Massage Luxy. Sorry, not Envy. Massage Lux or whatever, Luxe. They was into some for real stuff, man. Like they were. Yeah, remember they like kidnapped the dude and they was gonna kill him and all kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah, man. They was serious.
Envy, it threw me out, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
My bad.
Yeah,
I thought I had shared that story.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that, Paul, when you mentioned Bob Kraft, I know when Bob Kraft read this story, he was like, somebody's getting fired. Why am I paying $80 in Florida when I could have went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and dropped to $20? Somebody's
right in his backyard too.
Somebody got fired that day. That's all I know.
Well, it was $60. It was $40 for massage, $20 for the.
Still, he getting upcharged $20.
Right, you know, Bob Kraft. Hey, want that massage?
Hey man, Florida
saving
prices,
that $40.
Florida prices, man. You never know, man. Everything's local, but yeah. Anyway, stay out of those places, man. You better off just avoiding them, especially nowadays.
Yo, shout out to this officer. Thank you for your service.
And take it like a,
he should get some kind of medal.
He probably went home to his wife. She said, "How's work?" "Oh, it's a rough day, honey. It's just a rough day. Don't even want to talk about it."
Right. He definitely got the medal for blue balls.
Hey, look, man. You know this dude ain't never been late to work once. This dude show up 30 minutes early, make the coffee. He like, hey, yeah, what's on the docket for today? What should we do? I'll volunteer for that. I'll volunteer for this.
They got a long list to replace him, so everybody just waiting for him to make one mistake. Like, I need that position right there.
Right. Like, oh man, you still working on those massage things?
Look, man, this man.
Yeah, man.
This man works 60, 70-hour weeks. He don't claim no overtime, nothing. Look, this dude don't take no lunch break. He just there. He's like, man, I'm straight. I'll eat something after I get off my 20-hour shift. I'm good, man.
Right.
Hey, he said serving the community is the most important thing at his job. So,
getting that release. Oh man,
he here for the people.
Give him a medal. Give him a medal.
Yep.
Make a proclamation.
All right, Ishmael, if you I can't say that, never mind.
Say it.
Where can the people find us? Where can the people find us?
I know where they can find Paul. If you go to the last story, he might be there. But no, if you want to find the Black Delegates, we are on social media. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. You want to follow Ryan on Twitter. He is at the Black Ryan. Paul is at Boxed Wine Poppy. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter and the gram at Ish Creates. As I mentioned before, if you want to hit us up via email with a story idea, with some feedback. Actually, we did have some feedback. Maybe next show we'll read that. But you can hit us up at the blackdelegatespod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Make sure you like that page. We're on YouTube. If you want to follow the pod there, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that notification squad so you find out the moment that we go live on YouTube. Paul, if people want to help out the pod, you know, we've been away for a little bit.
This is what you do. You want to get back
in
the pod. You help the pod. You get in your car You go down, you drive down to Jupiter, Florida. You find the Orchards of Asia Day Spa. You go in there. You put our name and our podcast and our Twitter handles right there. Just scroll on the wall right there, or underneath the little massage table. So the dudes that are just sitting there with the big bucks, they can just say, "Okay, hey, I'm gonna go check that website out. I'm gonna go check out that podcast when I get back off this table." That's what we want you to do.
I thought you were gonna say, "Go down to Jupiter and pay my tab."
Never been in one. I'm proud to say, hey, you guys think I'm disgusting, but I'm proud to say I've never been in one of those places and never planned to be, actually.
Bro, you've been all over the globe, man. Tell them what you've done. Real time. You've been to Thailand. You probably been to Thailand.
Wait, where was he at? Singapore. He said it was hookers all in front of the hotel.
Yeah, you was in Singapore, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
Hey,
he never been to their
You can
spot.
see. You can. It's out in plain sight. But I've never been into one of these establishments. Thank you very much. I have some.
And oddly, Paul knew the exact percentage of how many countries had prostitution be legal.
Right.
He's like 50%. Actually, 53% of all countries have prostitution is legal. Like what?
What can I say? I'm a learned scholar, man. What do you want me to do, man? I just know about these things, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Paul knows you want in at least 80 different languages. With that being said, we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.